so today I'm going to be talking about my experience of living in the student house. Obviously I haven't actually lived there since November, so I only lived there for about 2 months because of the pandemic and everything. I do need to go back at some point to obviously move my stuff out, see my friends, that kind of thing. But I'm going to share my experiences of living there, how it compared to halls and that kind of thing. So yes, please like and subscribe for this video and let's get started. So I nearly didn't film this video, obviously for the main reason was I literally didn't live there that long, so I feel like I don't have that much to say, but I did film one of these videos for both my halls experiences, and yeah, I thought I might as well just start the university experiences series like this. So yeah, I'm going to go from the beginning. So we moved in September time. So yeah, originally there was meant to be 6 of us who we all knew each other from halls, and I was in my second year, they were in their first year. We all got on really well, so we were like, right, that makes sense, so we would all live together, that sort of thing. And then about a month before we moved in, someone dropped out, so we were like, no worries, we'll find someone else. We found someone else, but then they dropped out of university, so yeah. So about a month before we moved in, we had one room missing, and we were like, we can't afford to pay the rent on that house without someone else living there. So I went on Facebook, advertised the room, found someone to move in. We didn't meet him before or anything because obviously we were in pandemic times, we were living all over the country, so we'd never had the chance to meet him before we moved in. So yeah, I lived with 3 boys and 2 other girls. So yeah, at first it was fine, we didn't really see the new housemate much. He was out a lot of the time, which was all fine. I have no idea if he's going to watch this video, probably not, but I know my other housemates will, so yeah. The first couple of weeks were fine, there was no issues. We moved in September, we didn't really start lectures till October, so we had a nice month of going out to the pubs, and obviously we didn't go clubbing, but we went to pubs and stuff, and we went to the beach, and yeah, I had lots of nice memories of that period before term actually started. And then yeah, as sort of the semester began and stuff like that, I think it was quite clear the way the new housemate lived his life was quite different to the way we lived our lives, and we did clash over certain things, and there was a bit of hostility in the house at times, which is kind of partly the reason why I did move back home for lockdown, because especially October, November, there was a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, I don't need the stress, I just want to get on with my degree, and I don't want to be in a lockdown when there's not a good vibe, you know. So yeah, that's why I came home back in November. I think I mentioned this in a video before, but I didn't say the exact reason, but that was the reason. And when I was back home, there were still things going on in the house, which obviously I didn't really have control over. But yeah, as I said, I couldn't do much because I was living here anyway, so I just tried to take it in my stride, and it was nice that my housemates were keeping me updated as we were going along. So yeah, that was basically why I came home back in November. And then obviously with the restrictions, university students couldn't go back anyway. I mean, it's a bit different if you lived in a private house, they couldn't really stop you going back, I guess, but I just chose to stay at home because I was so settled here anyway, doing my work and stuff. Yeah, so that was kind of why I didn't go back. As there's no issues with anyone really, I still speak to our housemates now, we all get on fine. As I said, I will go back at some point to see them, having my phone all night out in Bath sort of thing, and obviously we'll visit them when I graduate sort of thing. But yeah, as I said, the new housemate, I wouldn't say we were really friends with him, but you know what, it's fine, that was the situation, and I think next year all my housemates are moving into a different house, hopefully things will be a bit better in that kind of sense. But there was one funny story which I'm going to tell, I don't really care who listens to this, but the boy went, so there was one night where I had a 9 AM the next day, and 2 of my housemates were out of the house. So one of my friends, who's a girl, she was out with her boyfriend, and the new boy was just out, which was fine. And then it was 2 AM, and I said I'd gone to bed early because I had 9 AM the next day, and yeah, I woke up to someone opening the door to me, and I was like, who is coming into my room, because my student house doesn't have locks on any of the doors, apart from the bathroom door. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. So yeah, I heard someone come into my room, and obviously because it was 2 AM, my eyes weren't really open, I couldn't really see who it was, and just by sort of the shape of her body and stuff, I thought it was my other housemate who had gone out, and I thought, oh, maybe she's just drunk and she wants to, she doesn't feel alright sort of thing, and I literally said, I was like, I'm sure she won't say mum saying her name, but I was like, Tess, are you okay sort of thing, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Well, she just, mum, she's like, yeah, I'm fine, and I was like, oh, okay. And then this girl just basically got into my bed and I was like, okay. I just sort of moved across. I was like, I was just so tired. I wasn't really with it. And then I woke up again about 4 or 5 a.m. to go to the toilet. And I looked over at me and I was like, that is not testing my bed. I was like, who on earth is this random girl in my bed? And I was like, oh, I've got to be up in a couple of hours. I can't really do much about it now. I said it was like 5 months. I'm not going to kick this drunk girl out of my room. So then the next morning, obviously this girl woke up and she was like, oh my god, where the hell am I? Like, she was really confused and stuff. And I was like, look, I don't really know what happened last night. So you came into my room very drunk, like, and you just literally fell asleep in my bed. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, it's so embarrassing. I was like, look, it's absolutely fine. Please don't worry. Like, as long as you're safe and everything, don't care. And she was like, why are you being so nice to me? I'm just like, as I said, I think from a girl's perspective as well, like anything could have happened, do you know what I mean? So, but then when I went downstairs, the other like boy housemate, he was on the sofa sort of thing, so I think she just must have got confused about which room she was staying in sort of thing. And then yeah, as I said, I took her down to the bus stop, got her back home safely sort of thing, and he did apologise for that. But honestly, that was just such a weird story. Like, as I'm just not the sort of person to have a one night stand. That was like my one night stand story. It's kind of like, I was kind of annoyed at the time, but yeah, it was just such an odd situation. But yeah, that's kind of what happened in my student house. But like comparing it to halls, I think there was definitely pros and cons. As I said, it was cheaper living in a student house than it was student halls, and what I preferred about a student house is that it was definitely a lot more like homely, and like it was just nice not to be living out of 2 different bedrooms, if you 2 rooms sort of thing. Because like when halls, you only really got your room and your kitchen, that's kind of it. Whereas at least in a house you've got like a nice living area. We had a garden as well, which was like nice in the like warm September month. So we had a barbecue and stuff. So yeah, I did definitely enjoy that more. And yeah, it just felt a bit nicer because we had like I could put my cushions downstairs and things like that. So yeah, as I said, I really liked that about the house, and obviously it being cheaper was a lot easier. We did have to sort our bills out, but we used a company called Fused, which basically they put all your bills together. You just split the cost between like all of you. Again, that was so much easier, especially when we had a new housemate come on board. We would rather a company sort of chase us for our bills and not chasing each other for bills sort of thing. So yeah, that's what we did. It worked really well for us. It was probably a little bit, it was like, I think it was like £10 more a month for using that sort of company rather than doing your bills individually. But as I said, if you're moving to a student house the first time, just do use a company which clumps your bills together. It's so much easier. But the only thing was we didn't have the right meter in our house, so we had to basically top up our gas and our water and stuff, like at the local shop, and then we'd send the receipts off to, like pictures of the receipts to Fused, and then they would just reimburse us for it. Hey Stan! So yeah, overall the bill situation was like easier than I thought it would be. But yeah, it was also quite nice as well, like where we lived we had like 2 car parking spaces, so like we could, I said, like the boys bought their cars, so we could like go out to like Bristol and places like that, not to rely on public transport. So that was definitely a lot helpful, and like especially with weekly food shopping, it was nice just to, oh my god, the dogs. Yeah, it was just nice to be able to get in the car and go places, so that was like quite nice about living in a student house as well. But yeah, my overall tips, I'd say definitely use a company like Fused or something like that to split your bills and stuff. It just makes life a lot easier. Also with your housemates, obviously you can't control everything, but make sure you know your housemates well, and like you can like live with them sort of thing. So it just makes your experience a lot nicer, you know. As I said, on the whole it was alright apart from like the one housemate. But if you do come across things you don't agree with, or someone's doing something you don't like, just say it straight away. Don't let it like build up. It'll just make the whole house a lot worse. And don't talk about it to other people, just confront it head on and it'll get sorted a lot quicker. I think there's like my main 3 takeaways from my living in a student house. I think in the future I probably wouldn't live with that many people again. Like I said, it wasn't because I didn't get on with them, but it's just, for me, I'm quite an introverted person, you know, so I think living with like 5 big personalities was like quite a lot, you know. As I said, I love them all to pieces, but yeah, I think living with friends especially, something that's not really spoken about, like when you live with your friends, it does really change the dynamic of your friendship with them. So I think I do appreciate now I'm not actually living with my friends 24/7, you know, because when we do see each other it just feels nicer. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave that video there. So there's not really much else I can talk about because I didn't live there for long at all. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you soon. Bye.